Hey, we are live. No fancy countdowns here. We're just
Don't
Bill
do it.
O'Reillying it.
No.
No.
Don't start us off this way.
I'm trying to get you riled up for the
You
discussion.
really are.
Trying to
Trigger
poke
all the
the bear a
trigger,
little bit.
all the political triggers for John.
Welcome back. This is New Comic Book Day Book Club. We missed last month for no other reason than we're just lane-brained and forgot that February is the month for a second and said, let's just wait till next month.
Yeah.
So I don't think I've been live on my channel for 3 months now.
This might be the December show we did, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
This is what happens when I steal D&D from you.
Yeah, right. My channel goes dark. That's all right. Hey, TJ. There he is. What's up? Nice to see you. Thanks for hanging out. And
Kavi,
what's up? Got to finally, after all these years, meet Kavi a couple weekends ago.
Yeah, I heard you Tanya Hardinged him or whatever. You know,
I
busted him across the
allegedly.
knees.
No, he had already been Tanya Hardinged when
Okay.
we ran into each other. But yeah, we went to the Orlando Comic Art Expo and ran into each other. It was great. We got to hang out, see some cool art. It's a good time.
Nice. Yeah, he's a very nice man.
And obviously, Chad and Carson were down here as well. And
that kind of ruins it.
Well, no, we had a good time. Yeah, not need time.
Fair. What are you gonna do?
And then he got stuck down here because of the blizzard. So he
Florida blizzard. That's amazing. That's it.
No, the blizzard back home for him.
That makes way more sense.
Yeah, the planes were not going to where he needed to go. It was very pleasant here.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's probably a win in its own way.
Well, in the words of Kavi, I would not be as upset about it if I weren't stuck in Florida. And I said, that's fair. It is a swamp in every sense of the word. Yeah,
3
not like
mobile
hobble around the Disney World because I guess
that's what Epcot was made for, right? Just get a wheelchair and roll your way around.
Electric rascals that people don't know how to drive and bump into you with.
See? I think that's an Epcot experience waiting to happen.
Anyway, we're not here to talk about that.
Not that dork.
Whatever.
We're here to talk about a different dork.
Here to talk about this old dork. If I can pick up these slippery bags.
This dork. Oh, he got two. My boy got two of them.
First and second prints. I picked up the first print just on a whim, because that Wednesday when it came out, no one was talking about it, and then Thursday came around and
they were gone. Yes, comics still come out on Wednesdays.
Still on Wednesdays.
Yes.
There was a hot minute when DC was putting books out Tuesdays right after the pandemic, and Marvel released all these covers that said out on Wednesdays. Be like, oh, we stick with tradition. It's like, it doesn't. Nothing matters, especially this show.
The world is, rules are arbitrary, right? Let chaos reign.
Let's get into it. John sent me a message. I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before. He's like,
I think it was like 5-6 messages.
Yeah. I don't know if I should read it verbatim, but basically he was saying, I don't know if it's going to be a good discussion because this pissed me off.
Yeah.
I said, or will it be the best discussion because it pissed you off?
I had the most probably unnecessarily emotional response to the book Dork that I think I think it is entirely unnecessary and entirely unjustified in the sense that it's a comic book about a half dwarf, half orc. And the
Yeah.
fact that I had such a intense emotional response to it, some soul searching was required. I had to really reflect and I told Alec I read this book 3 times to just try to gain an understanding. You look into the void looks into you. I was just trying to get an understanding of this book, but I clearly am overthinking this book, and I need the help of the chat and maybe
I
Alec to
don't
kind
know
of
that
walk
you
me through
are.
it.
I mean, I felt like it was pretty ham-fisted in what it was trying to say.
Okay. Did
Um,
you have a similar emotional response in some regard, or were you just
well,
like, no, this is just entertainment? Like, who
I
cares?
was I kind of braced myself after because I didn't read it till tonight.
Oh shit, you hadn't even read it, and I gave you that spoiler. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's not a spoiler.
I mean, I kind of like filleted. I don't want you to like go into it feeling like John already gave me the deeper meaning to this. I'm
Yeah,
forcing my vision on it.
I don't think I would have missed it. Like I said, it's pretty
Okay.
ham-fisted, but
I mean, yeah, it's about as
like
subtle as a Fast and the Furious movie.
but I didn't have necessarily the emotional response.
Yeah.
That you did because I was a bit prepared.
Okay. I prepped you.
Yeah.
TJ, this is my this is my pit cosplay. I'm next Halloween I'm gonna do a Dr. Robbie costume for Halloween.
No bitter rivals.
No, I don't. I'm not muscular enough to pull any hockey player look.
You
off.
are,
But I can definitely pull off. Noah Wiley from eBay, like the lower tier Noah Wiley.
Timu
Noah Wiley is that's my jam. Well, let's tell the story at least of what it's about and what the plot, the deeper plot, and then we can get, because it's ultimately the subtext. I guess it's the text, but the metaphor, the analogies ingrained in this that kind of made me lose it.
Yeah, I don't think he's muscular enough to do a pit cosplay either.
Well, I mean, probably fair. Certainly not. What's it, Dr. Adams or Adamson or whatever his name was, his buddy from I don't know if you've seen the show, The Pit. It's really good.
But that's the pit, like the Dale Keown.
I think it's the name of the because that's the name of the show. The Noah Wiley show is called The Pit.
That's with one T though.
No, it's with 2 T's because it's in Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Oh.
It's the name of the Pittsburgh hospital. Like that.
I thought he was making
for the hospital.
A Dale Keown joke.
I mean, maybe.
Regardless. So plot of Dork.
Yeah.
There is this fantastical world where there is basically half of the land is ruled by the light side and the other is by the dark side. So, Alliance and Horde for you World of Warcraft people.
Yes.
In the middle of this continent, there is an area called the Scar, which has no affiliation, and the people who reside there are constantly battling each other. So our main character, who does not have a name other than the Dork, because he is half dwarf, half orc. So he is a product of both worlds and was abandoned with a magical shield in the Scar and kind of grew up there. And now, for some reason, not really explained, he has decided to start trying to make the Scar a better place, or I don't really know what his motivation is.
There are definitely some pieces missing, like before the story starts. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not that good.
I mean, it's so yeah, his magical enchanted shield, and he have conversations because it's like an eyeball on the shield. So you find out that it is enchanted with a soul of somebody.
Yeah, it's an
But
eyeball on a shield, so very logically, it talks to him.
It talks, yeah. Not a mouth on a shield, an eyeball on a shield.
Correct.
And it doesn't talk telepathically. It has word bubbles, and other people can hear it.
Correct.
So he attacks this, and he is. And this was one of my biggest complaints about the book, other than what John wants to get into. The dork seems very like he is on the side of violence is not the answer, and the shield is of the mind that violence is the answer, and that the shield has a bit of a bloodlust where dork seems to have more of a, oh, maybe he wants to try stealth or diplomacy. It's not really clear.
Mm-hmm.
So they end up beating up this group of people, and then they end up at a tavern where the light and dark side people are once again fighting each other, and a talking chicken for some reason tries to break it up because they
I thought it was the waiter or the
I
owner
missed
of the
something.
restaurant.
When he is goes after the people at the campsite, they do reference the fact that there's a prophecy of the dork that is going to destroy everything.
Yes.
So yeah, there's this chicken, and he apologizes to the dork, and he's like, you should be able to enjoy your drink in peace. The what's up, Legion of Comics? Thanks for stopping by. So the chicken tries to kind of intervene, and he's about to get smushed by one of these guys when the dork blocks his fist and then just starts bloodlusting, attacking everybody. So I didn't understand where that flipped. But in his berserker mode, he ends up decapitating the chicken with the shield, who then his head becomes a ghost and his body is still ambulating, and kind of joins this posse of two, and they leave the tavern for greener pastures, more or less. And then you see the light side and the dark side literally doing the same thing for like 3 pages, where it's like light side's doing this, dark side's doing that, and it's very mirrored, both saying, oh, we need to destroy this dork before he creates the prophecy to come true. So they both have their kind of hero characters who they task with hunting him down. And that's...
Yeah, both sides seem to have belief in this prophecy or concern about it, and view him as needing to be eliminated immediately.
Yeah, I feel like I did a really bad job explaining that, but that's the plot of the book, more or less.
Yeah, there's not much more to it than that. Trying to remember. Yeah, they basically each like send a warrior after Dork. And those characters are kind of just shown, but not really given much of
unlike the
last,
basically the last page.
Yeah. So setting up the combat basically between these three.
But the ham-fisted message that pissed off John so much is that, and it is literally said straightforwardly, the shield is like, you have to pick a side, and Dork is like, no, both sides suck, they're both creating problems, and like neither one of them is right. And
I'm definitely a dork. Oh, he changed
Matt
it.
H.
Look at his icon. I think it's my face on Dork.
Yeah. Oh, is it?
My face.
It sure is.
Nailed it. Well played, Matt.
That's some dedication to the craft.
Yeah, right.
So, yes, speak on that, John.
I mean, I will happily. So I was legitimately triggered by this book because it felt like, to your point earlier, such a ham-fisted metaphor and such a or such a thinly veiled analogy to our current state in the United States of the two-party system and the failures of politics in our country right now, that um it felt like a common phrase I see uh, on social media posts and all around turned into a comic book. And that statement is, well, both sides are crappy. So, who cares? It doesn't matter. Don't vote for anybody or vote or who cares, but it doesn't matter. They're both exactly
Yeah.
the same, both sides.
Both sidesism.
Yeah. And while I am old enough to see that there have been many times in history where that was true, I don't feel it is true right now. And I feel pretty strongly that this was a book with its head up its ass, I guess would be the nice way to put it. It felt very much like a book that was trying to console people who might now be awakening to the concept that the situation we're in here is horrible and things are not going well. Shocker. The last year has not led to some amazing new era where we're all just winning. And
Prosperity and world peace.
instead, the book is trying to console those people as saying, no, both sides are horrible. They're equally bad. And my frustration is very clearly we have a situation right now that is far worse. And I just don't know how to enjoy a book that's trying to convince me otherwise. Like I just can't. So it's possible that the metaphor is so shoddy and the thinking so shallow and the effort so thinly veiled that I just read the book going like, it sounds stupid. Like it's I can't appreciate it. Now, all at the same time, it's a suspension of disbelief. Like can I set the book in, pick the book up in 1980 and read it and feel like the metaphor works, or I can ignore the metaphor and just treat it as complete fantasy and has zero connection to reality. I
Yeah,
couldn't
I would say it
do
would
that.
be easier to do that if it weren't so not subtle.
Mm,
If it were just like, hey, there's this world with light and dark and they're fighting and blah, blah, blah. If, he didn't have that whole speech or conversation with the Shield saying literally what is bothering you about the book.
right.
And to your point of like softening, and I don't know what Brett being the creator, I don't know what his politics are.
And neither do I. I did zero research beyond the pages that I read, but that was just my emotional reaction to it.
But regardless of your political affiliation or what you believe in or what have you, to your point of softening the blow, objectively things are bad. Prices are up, we're starting wars that we have little interest in actually benefiting from. And if you voted for the party that's in power right now, you are culpable. So I don't think your blow should be softened. Like you should have to face yourself in the mirror and say, okay, I messed up. But of course, many, many, many people who voted red still don't want to face that
Rationalize.
or can't face that. And I mean, I will say, like, I'm not saying that people who are more left leaning are less in a bubble, right? Because
Or more removed from. I mean, yeah,
yeah, it's because, you know, everyone's got their echo chamber and everyone just wants to hear what they want to hear. You know, very few people actually take a step back and look at everything objectively. And I'm not saying that like I am above any of that, because, you know, when I read a headline that backs up something I want to believe in, I will take it more as more truthful than something that I don't. Like that's going to happen with everybody, right?
human nature for sure.
But for the people that who did vote for Trump and now are kind of regretting that decision, I think, you know, you should hold their feet to the fire a bit and say, you know, we told you this was going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely elements of that desire to have introspection and reflection on why and what is the outcome, right? And I'm never going to claim that any politician is somebody worth
Yeah, I mean,
idolizing or holding up as amazing. And I mean,
and
I was watching the Clintons be interviewed and feeling like, yikes, concerns, lots of
yeah,
concerns. But the difference being, I can absolutely call them out on mistakes they make and be upset and frustrated and voice my, you're supposed to represent me and you're not, and da 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 da. I don't feel that happens from the other side, and I certainly don't want, when the moment that we're hoping happens, what you're saying as far as like the awakening, the realization, whatever, I don't want the resulting phrase to be, well, they're both bad, because that's belittling to the damage that's being done right now.
yeah. I will say, however, play devil's advocate for a moment.
Yeah, go for it.
Um, I am of the belief that people who pursue politics as a career are generally more susceptible to corruption and self-interest. And I think, you know, there's probably, if even a handful of people in the federal government who truly want to do good for the world.
Yeah.
They're all there for themselves. The whole system is corrupt.
Yeah.
And both sides are bad in a lot of ways. But when one side is fascist and one side is socialist, you know, and I put those in quotes, by the way, because I don't group everyone into those two buckets, but that is the messaging that we get, right?
Right.
People on the left say, oh, the right are fascists. People on the right say, oh, the left are socialists, even though many people who are using those terms don't really understand what they mean, and I think is a gross oversimplification of what is actually happening.
Or they really want to change what those terms mean to suit their ends.
Yeah. So, having said all of that, Dork is a pussy who won't just pick a side and fight alongside them.
Yeah, I mean, to get back to the book.
We've been talking about the book this whole time.
I mean, to get back to the book, yes, I think everything is so simplistic that it's very difficult to get or gain any nuance and to find any layering to kind of what the storytelling is trying to do. Even moments of being entertained by a clever concept like the chicken with his head cut off or the talking shield, I was getting sort of pulled down by how, ham-fisted the narrative was in certain spots. And so for me, I think the character of Dork, is central to the problem of the story, in that we get him right at the beginning, and he's clearly got the shield, and he's kind of questing, but doesn't know what the shield is, doesn't know where he's going, doesn't know what he's doing, doesn't know what he's trying to accomplish. It seems like a character who literally was conjured out of thin air and has zero backstory. Like he is born the first time he walks onto the page, right?
Yeah.
And that's strange to me. And it's the opposite of those stories that you read, like something like Die, that feels so lived in, right? It feels so authentic. This feels very much like conjured, like it was just forced onto the page.
Yeah.
And as a result, as a character, he seems so aimless and so thoughtless and so meaningless.
Yeah. And I mean, I think, first of all, to your point, like, talking weapons, not that original. Ghost, half a ghost friend. We've seen that in Saga.
How's it say?
Like, it's not a chicken, it's a girl, but same sort of thing where it's half of a person.
Right.
So those are like not necessarily really original concepts. But going back to my point about him losing his crap in the tavern, I don't know why they didn't establish the fact that because he has these two sides, he's kind of like a little bipolar, or when like he can't control which side is kind of in charge in any given moment. They don't really establish that, but they kind of show it, but don't. It's not satisfying,
and
it doesn't make any sense in the moment.
Yeah,
because he's so digging his heels in the first scene against the Shield, who wants to do violence.
Right.
And he's like, no. And then all of a sudden the Shield is like, oh, well, you did all that in the tavern, and you're the only one who's killed somebody today, talking about the chicken.
Yeah.
So I just didn't understand why that dichotomy wasn't kind of more put into the forefront. And if that's even what he's trying to do, if he's just got pissed off because someone attacked his chicken friend, that wasn't clear either.
Well, and I think it's, the book ultimately has, for simplicity's sake, 3 scenes, right? The bit at the beginning with the unicorn head, the bit in the tavern, and then the bit with the 2 sides of the, sending their minions out. There is no story value for the most part to the first bit. It just serves to force Dork into the world and give us some of the sense of it. There's very little value, and in fact, most of what happens in that scene kind of happens again in the tavern, just a little bit more so. Like so the fundamentally, from a story standpoint, there's no heavy lifting in that first scene. And what we really needed, what was kind of vital there, was an understanding of Dork and what he's doing and where he's going and what's his function and worldview. But because he's such a blank slate, because he is so vapid at this point, that opening bit has no value. It has no weight. And ultimately is, for me, the problem that the rest of the book suffers under. Imagine if that opening bit had felt like it grounded us emotionally to Dork, set the stage for his problems, his issues, what he's going through. He doesn't need to be like going on the quest with Joy. He's, whatever, but like giving us that weight. Then the tavern scene happens, and it's like, oh crud, now he's got like this other layer where he has no control over this thing. And now the bad guys show up. Each piece now has a function, but the problem is that first one really doesn't.
Yeah, I think there, you know, we could have, to your point, skipped that entire scene, doubled the length of the tavern scene where we introduce the character and the shield and kind of have him witness these bar fights going on, and finally he steps in. It would have been, I think, probably a little more clean in execution that way. But I mean, I will say this before we get too much in the weeds with it, is that, and before, obviously we're going to give our ratings towards the end, but I will say this, that there's no reason the hype around this book is warranted.
I agree.
$80
Ooh, man.
for a number one first print.
Right.
Like, and that happened 2 days after it was released. I could see, like, he's a very good cartoonist. Like, the book looks great. It's very, comical at times, and in it how it looks, I felt like the dialogue was a little more cringy than funny, but a lot of the illustrations have good comedic elements to it, and an interesting style. But this isn't Saga number one, which everyone flipped out about. It's not
White Sky.
It's not White Sky. It's not Narco. It's not Nectar. I don't know. I haven't read any of those, but every book now, since Dork came out, every new Image book is now a $30 book the day of release. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think with White Sky and this kind of back to back, I think that their track record is fairly good, and we often talk about it, but certainly sight unseen, I think, is the bigger issue here, right? These things, people are hyping the book ultimately who have money to gain from it, not the people who are reading it and saying,
Right.
I love this. Because I've yet to see a review of Dork where somebody's like, this was the book of the week. I really loved this. When Exquisite Corpses 1 came out, everybody was talking about it. There was a ton of chatter and discussion.
It didn't go up in value until it got optioned.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it just reeks of market manipulation, and it's a real bummer. So yeah, I had to get that out of the way. That this idea that it's like the best book of the year, like everyone had to get a copy. It was so under ordered because everyone wants one now. It's just baloney.
Sell.
Yeah, it's just not good. Like, regardless of your, just like objectively, it's not good enough to be that hyped.
No, but I'm glad you mentioned the artwork, because I did, having read it 3 times, I did enjoy the visual style of it. I did enjoy the paneling. I did enjoy the look of the different characters. There were definitely things that consistently made me kind of every time the unicorn head appeared. I was like, that's funny.
It started looking more and more worse for wear every time.
So I did appreciate that. And as frustrated as the story made me at various phases, the visuals did make me feel like I wasn't absolutely wasting my time.
So, yeah, I mean, it definitely, the visuals carried the book, did a lot of the work for us.
Yeah, for sure.
In being entertained by it. And like you said, I think before we started, when I said you read it 3 times, like, well, it reads really fast because there's not a whole lot to it.
Yeah, easy read. I got all 3 readings done in probably less than 10 minutes.
I don't know, the speculator market is on a new level of bizarre right now, and
it's wackadoo.
I don't know. It takes a lot of the joy out of the hobby for me.
I get that for sure, but and I don't, thankfully, I have zero engagement with it. If I miss out on a book because it got hyped, I miss out on a book and I'll catch it later on. I've watched enough of JP's channel to know that I could get these things
It's
in
gonna go
6 months.
down.
And there is no missing out. I just need to be patient, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not watching those channels or making those content to have to, hype up a book or get excited about. So I'm in a different phase in my collecting, and my job obviously has no bearing on that either. So I don't need to stay up on things. So in that regard, like the hype machine speculation stuff, it's white noise to me at this point. I hear it, but I don't spend any time with it. So I was aware that this book was blowing up and I couldn't find it. So I knew that was happening. But shout out to my man Diesel Dan for getting me a PDF so at least I could enjoy it.
Speaking of things that the industry is doing right now that I feel are distasteful, new Daredevil book coming out with a blind bag.
I mean, let's be fair.
Is that more or less appropriate?
I was gonna say, I feel like if ever a book deserved a blind bag, it wasn't the new Batman. That's for damn sure. It was definitely the Daredevil book that should have it. So in that regard, if nothing else, I can laugh at that one. It's all the other myriad of blind bags, the monsters and whatever else that they're throwing out here that need to all have a blind bag. But I'm also not the person who's going to crap on any of this stuff. If it makes people excited to go to the shop and buy their books and make their videos and talk about the thing, like, I don't know. I'm the idiot who's still reading Absolute Batman, even though I'm not enjoying it. Like I've kept up on that train wreck. So,
Yeah, I mean, I have
over the years, yuck everybody's yum, but it's not intentional, Ryan. I'm not purposefully trying to yuck your yum. I want to make sure you get your yum, but then I also want to be able to voice my opinion on it.
I've been on the record many times saying there's no wrong way to collect. But I feel like there's no wrong way to collect, but there is a wrong way to broker how comics are dealt with in a way, because people are going to get fleeced on this type of stuff, and they're going to be disillusioned with the whole hobby when they think they're going to have the next Walking Dead 1 or Invincible 1 in their hands because they got a dork for $80. They're like, oh, in 20 years this will be $5,000. Like, it probably won't. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's not going to happen.
But do I blame like the hobby or the content creators, or is it the publishers and the marketing that they're doing for any of that kind of stuff?
I would say both sides are to blame.
Everybody has a piece to share.
See what I did there?
Yeah, I did. I saw it. Damn it.
But I mean, the other thing that makes it frustrating for me is that, if I go to the shop at 10:02 on a Wednesday and they're already sold out of a bunch of stuff because the speculators were waiting in line to go grab a bunch of copies of books. It's the same thing of like people waiting outside Target to buy Pokemon cards. Like, it will start to ruin the hobby and take the joy out of buying comics. And if you just want to read them, it's like, well, you're just going to switch to trades, and maybe that's the publisher's plan all along, is that they're creating these fake hype moments to make buying floppies unappealing. Yeah. I mean, that's totally conspiratorial. I don't really think that's the case.
But I feel like that vision of the problem at the LCS with the people out front, which is happening at my shop. My LCS owner said the last few weeks, maybe even most of 2026, it's taken him almost an hour to get through the line of people that first show up in the morning when they open on a Wednesday. that
And,
he,
you know, that's great for business
so
in the short term.
the only people getting screwed, in my opinion, in this scenario are the people whose LCS owners are unscrupulous and are not putting the pull list book you have on your list in your cubby, but selling it to the first guy in line that morning or whatever. Because if you have a moral LCS owner and you have a pull list, you should never miss out on anything unless you didn't know it was coming and you weren't aware, in which case be patient and you'll get it later on down the road. And so for me, yes, there are maybe a significant portion of LCS owners who are that way and just want to make their buck and make their money back in the moment and don't care that they're pulling it out of your pull list and giving it to somebody else.
Yeah, but at the same time, like,
I don't know. That scenario doesn't seem to hurt me, the collector, unless my LCS owner hoses me.
Sure, but at the same time, like, I don't know about you, but I don't necessarily have time to look at FOC every week and say, you know, go to my LCS and say, hey, can you put this on my pull list?
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times I'll hear about stuff coming out a week before and then it's too late.
Right.
And then I'm like, well, I'm go to the shop on Wednesday. I'll be there when it opens, and then they're already sold out.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, for those new titles that are dropping, those new titles that are coming out, it's hard to stay up on.
But if you got a spec book on number 15 of some series you've been reading, yes, that should be on your pull list. But
yeah,
a new series coming out, like, I didn't hear anything about Dork until it came out. The only reason I picked it up is because I liked the artwork. So I was like, oh, this might be fun. It might be Bone-esque, which it is not.
But I mean, I'm okay missing out on those issue ones. And maybe that's just me as a collector, and I'm the outlier now in this design, because for me, if I miss it, I can buy a digital copy or I can wait for that trade and still enjoy it. And if if the hype continues, 6 months down the line and I just was late to the party, I can maybe snag that book cheap now and work my way up to where it was, because now it's meaningful. I read the digital version. It was so phenomenal. I want to be on board with this, ongoing series, and I'm late to the party. I just have to get there. That's what happened with Strange Academy for me, and I just was able over time to kind of get myself to where I wanted to be. But it was part of the fun of the hunt, and it didn't harm my enjoyment of New Comic Book Day or whatever. But maybe that's an outlier.
Yeah, and I mean, I get to a point, it's like, okay, if you overlook something the week it comes out, or you overlook the first few issues of a series and end up reading it and trade and then wanting to go back and get them, that's a lot different than saying, oh, I saw this book coming out today, it looks interesting, I'll pick one up when I go to my shop, and then it's
all gone,
available.
Yeah,
like that. And then you have to wait a year or two before people lose interest and you find it at a reasonable price, when a lot of dealers will just keep books that have been that high at high prices because they don't want to, feel like they are softening the market because they're making their money on books going up in price. So I don't know. Yeah. It's a very complicated issue that us two dummies aren't going to resolve in an hour-long discussion.
But we can solve the political divide in this country with our discussion.
Oh, sure. Let's get to that. What's your plan for that?
Resolved. Well, both sides are bad.
Oh, right. Just like Dork said.
Dork taught me, and now I know they are equally horrible. I'm giving this book, I think, a 2
out of 10.
Out of 10. I think that's ultimately where I'm falling. I mean, it's just for the art.
I was gonna say, I think the art deserves more than a 2.
You think?
I was gonna give it like a 6 because it wasn't like boring to read. It was just a little ham-fisted and a little sloppy in its storytelling techniques, but it looked great, and it read easy. So I mean, I liked it more than I didn't like it, which is why I give it a 6.
Okay.
But I'm not excited to read the next issue.
I'm not going to read the next issue. If somehow this thing becomes a huge phenomena, and I'm later going to come back and I knew you had to do it. I'll try a trade, but at this point, I have zero motivation to do so. If I want something to get my blood pressure up, maybe I'll go back and read it again.
I mean, it also reeks of movie pitch or TV pitch, where I can very easily see someone adapting this to an animated series for Amazon or something.
Yeah, Cartoon Network something. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm probably overly triggered by this right now. It's been 2026 has been a roller coaster of emotion. Not that 2025 or 2024 or anything was better than this, but it does feel worse. They're not the same. and so I am probably more easily susceptible to the emotional response that this kind of
because you're a precious little snowflake.
I am fragile. All that time working in the pit has not made me hardened in any way. So
we bring it right back.
Just
for a full circle joke.
He's probably not still listening, but just that was for TJ.
I'm sure he is.
Although I am obsessed with that show. I've officially on season 2 now. I caught up. I'm on season 2 now. So it is amazing. It's a very good show. And Dana is a great character. Oh my gosh, the lady who runs the nurses station is phenomenal. That lady.
Yeah, she's got a lot of memes around her now.
Yeah. Oh my God. She has this one line where she splits up these two moms that are fighting over vaccines in the lobby. Where she's like, "This isn't Philly. It's a goddamn hospital." Like, the fact that that's what she says to them in Pittsburgh. This isn't. What do you think this is? Philly? It's a goddamn hospital.
Well, I mean, everybody knows Philly is the worst.
And Rod's in the chat going, "Hey, I'm from Philly." But just that line slayed me when she delivers, and she delivers it so goddamn well. It's like so good, perfect. So yeah, I've been reading Absolute Batman. I will say I've completely caught up. I had to read to get to Poison Ivy now that she's there, and that was buck wild. I don't know if you've seen images of her absolute version.
Mm-hmm.
It's graphic. It's intense. Like, they're all intense. The whole ending to the Bane saga was just nightmare fuel for sure. But then Poison Ivy, she's doing her beautiful thing, and then she like splits open like a Demogorgon, and it's like, whoa.
Kind of like a Venus flytrap or something.
I've basically decided that it is the human centipede of comics. Like, it's just designed to disturb. It's not designed to like create
tell a good story or
yeah, it's really just like, let's see how far I can take it, and I can enjoy the experiment of that special edition on FOMO.
I think we just did.
Yeah, right. But I just feel like the substance is still continually lacking, despite the concept of like, let me just see how bizarre and abstract and he's got the Joker as a billionaire with his own island where he's doing experiments on it's like, okay. it's very on the nose. Again, the metaphor is your metaphor is showing. Yeah. Watch out, your metaphor is showing.
I think Scott Snyder needs to release one of those videos. It's like, I'm not I have no reason to self-harm.
Yeah, right.
I'm in a happy place if I wind up dead.
Yeah. So I've been keeping up on that. I've been keeping up on Die and Exquisite Corpses, which are both very entertaining. And Stephanie Hans is just such a talent and so wonderful when she's dropping a book every month. It's such a joy to have those things on the
good
stands.
time.
Yeah. So that's what I've been reading. Not much else besides a few Image books and a couple of DC. I'm not caught up on Poison Ivy. I'm a few issues behind her. Apparently becoming the mayor of Gotham. That's coming up. Be ready for that.
I
Should
mean,
get my vote,
if Lex Luthor can be president.
right? Who's to stop her? So I'm excited for that storyline. The Nectar covers.
It's a
Is
new
that
book
the
that came out.
Ivy?
No, it's a new either Boom or
Hmm.
IDW came out this week. Some sort of
Okay.
horror book,
Hmm.
which is already going for like $35 for cover A, and the 1 in 25 was pre-selling for like 100 plus.
Back to our original topic. Thesis statement.
Thesis statement: FOMO is bad. Read what you want.
Yep.
If you want to invest in comics, invest in Silver Age.
No, nobody should be investing in comics. You should read them and collect
Yeah,
what you
but
want to
I mean,
collect.
I don't think. I mean, they are valuable properties. Like, well, Fantastic Four 1 is no different than buying a stock. Like if you want to invest in physical things, I mean, buy gold is probably in silver is probably the best bet. But don't listen to me. I'm not a financial expert by any means. But
Yeah, we need to put up a warning on the screen.
yeah, asterisk. This is not actual financial advice. But yeah, don't buy modern books expecting to be rich or even make money, because
I mean, I don't buy comics with that expectation, period.
No,
but I
but
understand that
people
there are
do.
people that like to do that. That has never been my expectation. My expectation is that I become a hoarder and build myself a house out of them, like TJ's working on.
Papier-mâché.
Well, I mean, his is a plastic dome. He's gonna have like a geodesic dome made of them. So that's all the stuff I've been reading.
Any last thoughts? Anything you want to plug?
The sides aren't the same right now, gang. They're just not. They're just not. This is clearly one is way worse. They're just not the same. And until we can admit that fundamental thing, like right now, this one side that is completely enabling a destruction, like that's worse.
Oh, you mean
than mediocre, like flaccid government that can't get crap done. That sucks. That's just government, period.
Yeah.
But like the destruction and murder of and police state universe that we're creating is worse. That is worse.
So you're telling me the side who murders citizens in the street is not the same as the side who thinks it's okay for drag queens to read books to children?
I mean, that's another way to put it. Those are other words.
I don't know. It seems the same to me.
Yeah, right. No different.
Both
identical.
just as bad.
Just equally awful. There you go. Did you get what you wanted out of? Did the monkey dance well?
No, I wanted a little more rage in your voice, but it'll have to do.
I don't know. It's the end of the day. That's all I got. I didn't have as much juice in me.
Gotta do these things in the morning from now on.
I don't remember what time I texted you, but it was fired up.
All right. Well, check out John's channel for a lot of good, consistent content, and D&D on Sunday nights sometimes.
This Sunday, yes.
Yeah.
Next Sunday, maybe
Herb
not.
Mervin's gonna be at it again.
There it is. Gotta send him in.
You gotta do something at some point other than just yell at waiters. But in the meantime, read your comics and never turn your back on the ocean. Okay, goodbye.